Aloha, everyone, and welcome to Lillian's Vegan World. I'm your host, Lillian Cumic, and we're coming to you live from gorgeous Honolulu in Hawaii. Today, I'm really excited to welcome back my guest who has been on the show before, and we're going to do a part two of Woody's journey. Let me first welcome Woody Bell back to the show. Aloha, Woody.
Aloha, Lillian.
So great to see you and have the chance to chat with you again. Thank you for taking out the time to join us today.
My pleasure.
So I do want to introduce you very quickly. And Woody, I'm going to say you're my favorite vegan at the moment. You're just living proof of, how a plant-based diet can really change your life. So you've got a lot to tell us about, but first of all, you are a musician.
Yes.
And you are a vegan living on a
Yes.
plant-based diet.
Yes.
So Woody, I'm going to just jump right into this. Tell us about the good news that you received recently.
I'm just going to read this letter from my doctor. Not the whole thing. I'm just going to read just the very beginning of it. And now, I went to my doctor. I've been under a doctor's care for having type 2 diabetes. I was diagnosed in 2009 with type 2 diabetes. I became a vegan trying to do something about having diabetes. And it was actually out of fear. And so the letter goes, "Hello, Woody. You have normal liver, kidney, and thyroid function. You do not have diabetes."
My gosh, Woody, how did you feel when you read those first,
I
that
had
first
to I
sentence?
had to read it 3 times and make sure that it wasn't a misprint. And because she does at the bottom line, it says the hemoglobin A1C is 5.8, an excellent indicator of diabetes management. And I just felt like I get to do my life over again.
That is so fantastic. Congratulations.
Got a
You know,
second chance.
yes, definitely. So you've reversed your type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
Woody, can we step back a bit? When were you diagnosed with it?
In 2009. And
2009.
yeah, I had been I had undergone back surgery. And during the blood test, they came up with, they said, you have diabetes. And it wasn't
So
even
you had,
pre-diabetes. Yeah,
oh,
I didn't
wow. You had
know.
no idea.
Nope. And so I don't know how long I had it. My dad he developed type 2 diabetes and later in life. And so this was 11 years ago, and I'm 71 now. So I was basically, I think I was actually 59 when they diagnosed it. And,
I cannot believe that, Woody.
yeah, and it was real bummer news. Of course, I went into denial about it because you don't feel it. You don't see it. It's not doing anything. It's not affecting you. So, and he said, and the doctor just said, start reading labels and of what you're eating. He says, you got to cut out sugar and carbohydrates and all this stuff. And I looked at the American Diabetes Association webpage and was reading all their information, which I found out isn't necessarily the thing to do.
But I was going to say, because you mentioned that you didn't actually know that you were not only, had type 2 diabetes, you weren't even pre-diabetic before, you found out. And I do want to say, according to the American Diabetes Association, in America alone, Woody, 30 million people are living with type 2 diabetes. And they do suggest, or studies suggest, that there are an actual 80 million others that are either pre-diabetic or may actually have type 2 diabetes and just don't know about it.
It all has to do with our diet.
It absolutely does. That's the bottom line. It's you are what you eat. And I named today's show eating your way off meds, and pretty much that's what it's about. You are what you eat. You are going to become what you eat, whether you want to believe that or not. So before we go on, Woody, I just do want to make sure people understand what type 2 diabetes is. So I do want to quote from the American Diabetes Association. Quote, quote unquote, type 2 diabetes is the most common form of diabetes and means that your body doesn't use insulin properly. While some people can control their blood sugar levels with healthy eating and exercise, others may need medication or insulin to manage it. May I ask, Woody, what kind of medication were you on, just so that anyone who's listening, might be curious?
Well, at first I didn't want to be on medication. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a pro medication person. So I told my doctor that let me see what I can do with my diet. Well, I failed real quick on that, and my numbers kept climbing because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't get much education. And so he started me off on metformin, and that's usually where they start people with type 2 diabetes. He started me on metformin, and I was taking 2,000 milligrams a day, 1,000 in the morning and 1,000 at night. And then my numbers kept rising, then he got me on Januvia, and so I was taking two medications, metformin and Januvia, and my numbers still were climbing. And of course, I just chalked it up that it had to do with eating sugar and things that create sugar in your body, and I just did not have the education. And I finally, over the years, my original doctor died, and I got a new doctor. And over the years, as my A1C kept climbing, my latest doctor, a woman, she started talking to me about insulin. I had gone up to 7, an A1C number of 7, and she started talking to me about insulin. And I was by then I was 69 years old. I was approaching my 70th birthday. This had been going on for 10 years. And I got really scared at that point because I knew insulin is really hard to reverse, to get off of insulin. That's really hard to do. And it's what type 1 diabetics, they get started on insulin. And I did not want to get on the insulin. And I also know I've had friends that have had diabetes and that have since died, and they started losing their feet and their eyesight, and that just scared me. And so that's what prompted me into doing something drastic. And
so how did you find this, or how did the plant-based diet come across your path?
Well, last time I was on this show, I had a girlfriend, and we're not together anymore. We're friends, but she's a vegan, and she's a wonderful person. Love her a lot. And she's a vegan, and she mentioned to me, and she's not the only one. I had somebody else had mentioned to me before. They said, if you went vegan, you could probably reverse your diabetes. And they were vegans, so they knew something about it. And so she got me this book, and I don't think it will come out on the screen right. I think it'll be reversed, but it's Dr. Neil Bernard's program for reversing diabetes, the scientifically proven system for reversing diabetes without drugs. And I got this book, and I started looking through it, and it's about eating a plant-based diet. And then last time I was on the show, I talked about, also I watched a documentary on Netflix called What the Health. And they actually interviewed Dr. Neil Bernard on there, and it was talking about all the things that I eat, and it was not pleasant to watch. And that was a rude awakening. And
yes, some of these documentaries really are rude awakenings, but they are just straightforward, telling you what you need to know. Whether you want to take it on board or choose not to is up to you. But I do want to say Dr. Neil Bernard is an excellent source to start if anyone watching is interested in the plant-based diet or vegan lifestyle, and in particular thinks they may have symptoms or could be pre-diabetic. Woody, can we just go over what some of the symptoms are? Because if 80 million in the US alone, you know, as studies suggest, may be living actually with diabetes and just don't know, it's good to point out what some of the symptoms may be. So
Well,
according to the WebMD website about diabetes, it says that some symptoms include, and please let me know if you had any of these,
okay.
some symptoms include excessive thirst, constant hunger, urinating often, dry
Yes.
mouth, weight
Hmm.
loss without trying, fatigue, blurry vision, headaches, loss of consciousness, infections or sores that don't heal, tingling hands and feet, red, swollen, or tender gums. Does that
I,
sound familiar to you?
yeah, headaches, and I would get lightheaded when my blood sugar got low. I didn't
Mm,
lose weight. I was actually gaining weight. And I uh, I forgot some of the other ones that you said, but dry mouth and urinating often.
right.
I experienced that quite a lot, and
Mm.
yeah, just constantly craving water and hungry all the time. I was
Ah, so that,
hungry all the time.
yes, constant hunger was
Yeah,
one of the main symptoms.
yeah,
Actually, interesting.
yeah, and so I got myself to believing that if I ate meat and vegetables, just meat and vegetables, that would be a good thing to do for diabetes. And I found out with Dr. Neil Bernard and watching that documentary about What the Health, and then another one I watched was Game Changers, and found out that meat is a big culprit in diabetes. Red meat, especially, is a big culprit. So
Well,
who would?
yes, Woody, here's another thing that I don't think many people actually comprehend or understand, and that is that animal meat of any kind does not have any fiber whatsoever. So fiber is such an important, like, um, part of your diet. You absolutely need it. And I believe that in one of the treatments or the foods that they do suggest that you eat if you do have type 2 diabetes is lots of food that are high in fiber.
Mhm.
So, you know, you're supposed to aim for 25 grams for women, 38 grams for men per day of fiber. So do your homework. I know that we don't want to talk about counting calories, but I think it's such an outdated way of dieting. I do suggest that anyone who's watching this start counting nutrients and fiber and things like that as opposed to calories, which is, one of the good things about living on a vegan or plant-based diet is we actually don't bother. No need to count the calories. Woody, we're going to take a quick break and come back. So to everyone out there, do stay tuned. We'll take a short break to see these messages.
Aloha, I'm Christine Linders, a physical therapy specialist and the host of Movement Matters. My show is designed to teach you the simplest and most effective treatment strategies to get you out of pain and back to doing what you love. If you or someone you know is having pain in a certain area of the body and would like a free assessment in treatment over media or in person, and then come on the show to talk about it, email us at thinktechmovementmatters@gmail.com. Or if you have a topic you would like to know more about, please email us. My goal is to decrease pain all over the world, inspiring people to take better care of their bodies to enjoy life to the fullest. I look forward to hearing from you.
Aloha. Welcome back, everyone, to the show. I'm here with my guest, Woody Bell, and we're talking about how to reverse type 2 diabetes on a plant-based diet, which Woody has just achieved. And what fantastic, fantastic news, Woody.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back.
Yeah.
And you look great. Woody, I just want to jump right in and show viewers what kind of food you and I eat, just so that they can get an idea that we're not starving ourselves.
That's a baked potato.
Yum.
Yeah, and it's got Italian dressing, Italian seasoning on it, salt. I have low blood pressure, so I can eat salt. Well, actually, I have really good blood pressure, and I use oil and vinegar dressing. I'm using Paul Newman's oil and vinegar, and that's all that's in it. Now, there's a thing about being a vegan that you have to watch oil, and it doesn't seem to affect me. I do keep an eye on it, but yeah, and so yeah, that's some kind of tofu. Uh, it's baked, and it's got peas on it and a sauce and potatoes and carrots and not carrots but corn and beans.
Lots of healthy carbs there,
Yeah,
definitely.
and that is a stuffed bell pepper with crumbly Beyond Meat and vegan cheese on it, and then the vegetables are
Wow.
pretty self-explanatory.
You got your three veg mix there. That sounds really nice, actually.
It was
Was it
delicious.
good?
It was
Uh-huh.
delicious. And that is another Beyond patty with gravy on it. And there's it's kind of it's not really rice, but it's a rice-like dish underneath it, and very tasty.
Uh-huh. Woody, are you a fan of green peas and carrots and corn?
Yes, I
I love that stuff too.
and
It's really simple, but it's nice. This looks like meat. What is it?
it's tempeh. It's
Tempeh.
tempeh,
Uh-huh.
and
So
it
soybean protein.
yes, and it tasted like a piece of meat. It had barbecue sauce on it, but it was vegan, and of course there's my peas and carrots and corn, and then that's macaroni and cheese salad there with vegan cheese on it, and it was delicious.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's have a look
so
at another one.
that's
Now, yeah, everyone's favorite.
avocado. That's
I wanted to ask you, do you put, is that mustard, the yellow sauce that you
that's
put?
yellow mustard. This is plain
That's
yellow mustard.
interesting. No, because
Yeah.
I've never thought to put mustard on avocado toast. Maybe I've been missing out on something.
So that bread is called Dave's Killer Bread.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
you're familiar with it. I'd love
Yes.
it. It's delicious. It doesn't have a
Yes.
vegan label on it, but I can't find anything in it that why it wouldn't be vegan. I've
It's
looked at the
vegan.
ingredients. Okay, it doesn't say it on it,
Yeah.
and it's vegetarian. I know that, and
Hmm.
it's gluten free and organic and all that. And
Hmm.
so that's Dave's Killer Bread, and that's avocado mashed up with a couple pinches of Trader Joe's taco sauce in it, just powdered taco powder,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
then chopped up red onion, and then I have a lemon tree out in the yard, and so I squeeze lemon juice in it, and
Great.
that's a sandwich. And if
Well,
I
you've
have
got,
lettuce, I put
yum.
lettuce on it. Yeah.
Yum. Yeah, you can't go wrong with avocado on toast. I mean, it's just one of those classic combinations, vegan or not, anyone can enjoy. By the way, Woody, I hear that vitamin C is very good for type 2 diabetes. So squeeze that organic lemon on,
Yep.
anything you can. I
Yeah.
have to ask you, I'm noticing a lot of takeout packaging.
Okay.
Do you
So
not cook much?
I don't cook. I don't have a kitchen.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have a microwave, and I have a hot plate, and I have a tea kettle and a toaster, and I have a little rice cooker. It's like a little
Okay.
uh, miniature crock pot, and I only eat brown rice. And so I make different dishes out of that. But that takeout thing is it's supplied by there's about 4 miles away. There's a service. It's a takeout place, and the woman that owns it's a vegan. And so,
Awesome.
yeah,
No, that's great. Great
yeah,
for you. I
yeah.
was
So
going to tell you that I hear there's this really awesome book that's coming out at the end of the year, a vegan cookbook. And
nice.
I do want to show you a picture of the chef that is going to create this or is in the final stages of her cookbook. So let's take a look at this picture.
Right.
This photo actually was taken, Woody, at my photo shoot for my very first cookbook that's
Is that
about
your
to
kitchen?
come out. Yes, that is my kitchen. So that is just
Nice.
lots of that was an 11-hour day shooting the photos for the full pages in the cookbook. And I want to show you another photo that I have prepped for us. This is one of the recipes that's going to be in my cookbook, and it's the Hawaiian loco moco. Look at that. It's all vegan.
That's all. There's not an egg on top of that?
The egg is
Looks like.
made from pumpkin,
All right.
kabocha, Japanese kabocha, and the egg white, is actually made from rice flour and soy milk. The
Wow.
patties are bean patty, just some rice. The gravy is mushrooms, lots of mushrooms, and yeah, can you believe it?
I'm looking forward to trying that because I'm a former fan of regular Hawaiian loco moco, but
Are you?
I don't eat it. I mean, there's nothing, I can't eat that now.
Yeah, you can't eat any of it, but you
But
can certainly eat mine. And I
yeah,
hear that my loco moco is pretty good. So that's what it looks like,
all
and
right.
I'll make sure that you get a copy of the book. Look at
Okay.
this, Woody. This is my teriyaki chicken.
Oh, is that tempeh?
No, it's actually frozen tofu.
Really? All
Another
right.
thing I talk about, yes, in the book, tofu gets a bad rap, and I think it's mainly because it's not prepared properly. But there are ways that you can actually change the texture completely by just freezing tofu before you prepare it, and it becomes a kind of a chewy, spongy um, texture that's very similar to chicken. So that's a teriyaki dish.
So
Which,
those takeout plates that I get, I don't order those. I mean, she just makes it up. She says, I'll make something for you. And so I never know what it is. And the first one I got from her, I thought it was for sure chicken and noodles. And I called her up and I said, you've given me chicken. She goes, no, it's not. And it looked like chicken and tasted like chicken. I mean, it was just a mind blower. It was tofu. It
Mhm.
was shredded. It was, yeah.
Honestly, vegan food has come a long, long way from whatever your perceptions of vegan food being boring and tasteless. It really isn't.
You
The
could,
vegan
you
food.
could you could actually, there are some vegan dishes because I went to a restaurant, it was called Vegan Comfort Food, and it was in Eugene, Oregon. And I had it had meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and then and a side vegetable. And I ordered that, and it was tempeh, and it tasted just like meatloaf, and everything was just like meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy, but it was all vegan. And then I ordered a chocolate shake on top of it, which was made out of cashews. Now, I hurt myself on that meal. I ate too much, and I know that eating like that, you could probably get fat. It's been,
Ah,
you know,
yes. Now you bring up
cashew
an
shakes.
excellent point.
Yeah,
That's a good point, Woody. Just because you're vegan
yeah.
doesn't mean that you're the exception to the rule, which is if you eat, there's a lot of vegan junk food out there. I mean, you can
You have to
live
watch
on a
that.
healthy, whole foods,
Mhm.
plant-based diet, or you can take the unhealthy route and just be prone to all of these illnesses like every other person. So do keep in mind that it is, again, going back to food, what you eat, you are what you eat. So,
Keep it
Woody,
simple
yeah,
and raw.
yes, keep it simple. Yes, that's the other thing. Whatever you can eat raw, just eat it raw. Don't juice your vegetables because you're missing out on the fiber.
Right.
A lot of people, that's why smoothies are just like a no-brainer for people who don't cook or can't gather that many vegetables and prep all that sort of all those nutrients and vitamins from vegetables. Just throw it all into a smoothie, frozen banana, a little bit of water to thin it out, and you have really your nutrients and vitamins for the day. So I
Yum.
do recommend that. Woody, can we talk about what you should be eating on a if you do have type 2 diabetes? I am hearing online that a lot of research says eat green leafy vegetables,
Mhm.
mushrooms, beans. Beans are a
Mhm.
great carbohydrate, also very high in fiber. Berries full of antioxidants. Get as many red, dark berries as you can into your diet. Nuts and seeds, high in fat, but the good fat. So
Mhm.
they are okay. And going back to what you said about oil, Woody, I consume a lot of oil. And honestly, people talk about how my skin looks, the white of my eyes, very white. So I know myself that what I'm doing for me, for my body, and for my age, it's working. And that is that I don't count calories. I do consume oil, sugar, and do drink alcohol. When you move to Hawaii, Woody, people force you to do it.
Yeah, I know. And I've eaten your food over there in Hawaii when I was visiting my cousin. I live in Santa
Yes.
Cruz, California. So, and then we have lots of veggies here. And your food was just wonderful. And that's how we met.
Uh,
And I also want to say that I've been a vegan for a little over 14 months and I reversed diabetes in that amount of time. So,
Woody, that is just fantastic. Look at you. You're 71. I find that absolutely unbelievable. You look 20 years younger than you are. Woody, we are wrapping up the show. Can I please ask you to just say whatever's on your mind, like give advice to anyone who is living with type 2 diabetes or is pre-diabetic? Any advice you can give would be awesome.
well, for one, watch those watch those documentaries that I mentioned, What the Health, and the other one's Game Changers. And don't let anybody tell you that you have to have meat to have protein. Ask a gorilla where he gets his protein. And and I highly recommend this book if you're trying to reverse diabetes. I recommend this book. And it and I want to tell you, being a vegan can be very simple and easy. It seems daunting at first, but it's not. It's easy. It's simpler. So keep it
It is.
simple.
Yeah, well put, Woody. And again, vegan food, we've come a long way. It's delicious. It's easy to prepare, much more easier to prepare than people, I think, imagine. And there's a lot of information and resources out there. Do start with Dr. Neil Bernard. I highly recommend him. He's a, very, very well respected person in the vegan world. Woody, congratulations, you look fantastic. I look forward to seeing you again in Hawaii, and I do believe I owe you a meal or two. So
Yeah, you owe me a meal. Yeah.
thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time on Lillian's Vegan World. Aloha.